Pokémon, I am invincible when I dig out the Eudemons fossils at the beginning. Author, Ultraman Zeta. Chapter 176. And who is cornered? The trump card of overwhelming advantage. Even Bai is no exception. If the people of Carlos supported him so much, he guessed that his blood would boil too. However, the one who greeted N was not only excited. At the moment both covet dissolves the hatred in his heart and human beings, but is also afraid of it. The huge kindness made N very confused. Not born of humans, but children of Pokémon. Since he was a child, he was called a villain by humans of the same age, and he grew up from discrimination and abuse. His hatred for humans is almost instinctive. He was very afraid that after his life experience was exposed, he would face even crazier counterattacks. Although grown up, N has gradually developed his own thinking ability. Don't think there are only wicked people in the world, but he didn't dare to trust humans easily. For more than 10 years, the deformed concepts instilled in him by Gedzes under the control of behind the scenes made him inexplicably terrified of giving up hatred and getting closer to human beings. He is terrified. Especially, N is very afraid that after giving up hating humans, he will be abandoned by Zekrom. At that time, he will really be doomed and abandoned by the whole world. Sure enough, I still can't get close to humans. Standing on the guardrail with both hands, cold sweat covered N's whole body and soaked N's skirt, make him look like he just came out of the water. As the media seats are closer to the battlefield, N's abnormal performance was also noticed by Bai and the other 5. Did something happen to him? Vertical bar? Cynthia looked serious. Consider whether to interrupt the start of the game with a noise. When everyone heard the words, they all looked at the battle seats. It really is. Although I don't know what happened. Withdrawing his gaze, Bai looked thoughtful. I never heard of any version where N had any strange disease. Wait and see. Although N's behavior is weird, but he doesn't need help right now. Does he? Bai pointed to N who had stood up straight again. All right. Glancing at N again, Cynthia also felt that what Bai said made sense. After all, this is a race for the whole world. The impact of interrupting the game is too great. But, as partners in justice, while the 5 watched the battle, they also paid attention to N's contest condition. Game start. Steven's starter is a quasi-god Metagross, Steel plus Ultra. Metagross is blue all over, resembling an Oerberg tortoise with dumbbells instead of limbs. That's right, normal Metagross. In addition to Steven having a different color, Metagross also has a common color. Metagross also his trump card. But the former trump card and the Pokémon sent by N is a quasi-god Tyranitar. Evil plus rock type. Tyranitar's size is similar to the behemoth Godzilla in science fiction movies. The moment Tyranitar appeared on the stage, a powerful sandstorm blew up on the field, covering the entire battlefield. Apparently, it's only the Tyranitar with the ability to blow the sand. In sandstorm weather, rock Pokémon's special defense is increased by 1.5 times, and Tyranitar's special defense is increased. The two sides have the rock type and the steel type respectively, and are immune to collateral damage. In sandstorm weather, quasi-god species strength is 600. The evil system restrains the super energy system, the steel system restrains the rock system. The two sides restrain each other, it can be said. In addition to the special defense boost that sandstorm brought to Tyranitar, this is a close contest. But in real battle, Steven's command is obviously better, and Metagross' strength is also stronger. Soon, N has only the last 2 places left. N throws Majestic Fang in the 5th hand. However, Steven, who had been prepared for a long time, took his time and sent a different color Metagross in one fell swoop. Mega Evolution. Super restraint fighting. Even Majestic Fang can't withstand the attack from Steven's real trump card Mega Alien Metagross. When consuming a Metagross, Steven completed the suppression of N, including the paradoxical Pokémon Majestic Tooth, but also failed to escape the sanctions. At the scene, the Unova fan seats burst into mourning. The Hoenn fan booth was filled with jubilation. Feeling that he has a chance to win, Steven has already put on a pose. This moment, it will definitely be on the news, so the more victorious the moment, the more attention should be paid to the image. Now, got it. This is called professionalism. Sure enough, Anne's whole card has been detected. Cynthia glanced at Bai, the corners of her mouth raised slightly. Everything was as she expected. N has been cornered. Now, let her come and see. What is the last whole card that can make Bai look up to N? All eyes. N's attitude is still calm. It was as if he was cornered and only one Pokémon was left to play. In his palm, an enlarged Master Ball appeared. A flash of lightning flashed over it. Bai's eyes brightened. This moment is finally here. Chapter 177. Shocking the audience. Here comes Zekrom. Coming. Cynthia looked expectantly at the battlefield. Serena Kishu beside him, and Toko somewhere in the stands, all looked at Hen at this moment, including being rival, Steven, who pushed Hen all the way to a corner. According to Steven's vision, Majestic should be N's only whole card, should follow the previous process. The Majestic Tooth is arranged to play in 6th place, but this time it is an exception. N's calmness made Steven faintly uneasy. That kind of calmness, without the certainty of victory, is impossible to have. Could it be? No, impossible. How could N have the absolute confidence to sweep his 5 Pokemon cards? Steven really didn't believe it. Can you beat me with my 5 Pokemon? 070. The answer is yes. When the Master Ball is turned on, blue lightning instantly spread across the audience, and the high voltage current crazily impacted on the battlefield barrier. Just the movement caused by the first appearance made the protective cover faintly crumbling, making one unable to help but worry about the direction of this battle. The dazzling thunder was as bright as day, and the flickering crowd couldn't open their eyes. Ah! My eyes, assistant, bring me the black mirror. Host's miserable howl spread throughout the audience along with the sound, causing everyone to roar with laughter. At the same time, it also made the people who closed their eyes react one after another. If you have sunglasses, quickly take out your sunglasses and put them on. On Bai's side, the heterochromatic lasers changes the refraction of light in time, reduced light intensity by 70%. Everyone didn't think there was anything wrong, they just suffered for the audience. At the same time, as N opened and closed his eyes, Zekrom, who appeared on the field, instantly suppressed the dazzling thunder. Without the obstruction of the glare, tens of thousands of spectators rubbed their almost blinded eyes, and Kiki turned his gaze, which could still see the dark shadow, to the black field. As far as the eye can see, the overall color of one is gray and black, and its appearance looks like a combination of a dinosaur and a western dragon with strong bipedal standing. Handsome, so handsome, simply handsome. This is what most viewers think. As for the fans of Unova region, many swear words almost instantly. FK, FK, truff truff truff. This is the ideal hero in Legendary, the Dragon of Unova Legendary, who has the same cognition as a group of Unova fans, almost blurted out the words, Adpk. He stared at Bai in horror. How do you know? What is what? Don't be a riddler, you are talking. Serena was in a hurry. The strange tree at the side is also bouncing around, with stars in its eyes. Powerful electric legendary. So excited. Okay, it is simply her ultimate dream. Chishu took his mobile phone, wrote him, ran to the exit of the tunnel, and turned his back to take a selfie. I was so excited that I couldn't control myself. Knowing that everyone might not know about Zekrom's information, spoke slowly. Zekrom, the legendary dragon of Unova. The legendary Pokemon that burns the world with lightning in mythology. A person who will assist in creating an ideal world. Corresponding to it is the fire dragon Reshiram, who will assist the person who created the real world. In the description of the myth, if human beings lose their hearts of justice, Zekrom will destroy their kingdom with violent thunder and lightning. The same goes for Reshiram's eyes were filled with excitement. After all, the legendary from my hometown appeared. This feeling, it's a little different from Black Rayquaza and Primal Groudon who saw Bai subdued. Mikey, and this is a manifestation of the Holy Spirit in front of the whole world. B. Recalling that Bai, who corresponds to Zekrom, said that Cynthia's final rival is very likely to be Tuzi. I froze for a moment, thought carefully, and stared at Bai in astonishment. Shouldn't it be through her? Chapter 178 Zekrom's Suppression. To Padia. Reshiram? Cynthia answered thoughtfully. What Reshiram? The strange tree looked very confused. After all, long-standing conventional wisdom told her, legendary Pokemon is not so easy to be subdued, and it cannot be thought of at the first time. Does Miss Tuzi have a Reshiram? Serena, who has seen too many people own legendary Pokemon, is not bound by ideas. If the perception is correct, yes. Bai's answer shocked the 4 girls who had been prepared for a long time. As a contestant, Cynthia frowned even more. This time the World Championships, Renwuki is really getting more and more interesting. At the same time, on the field, after the initial surprise, Steven's mentality almost collapsed. Even if he was killed, N's whole card was Ampharos. From Legendary, it was like a champion switch, and rival who came to challenge him pulled out Kyogre as amazing. Earthquake. Ampharos is weaker than ground, and Mega Metagross is especially good at physical attack. The powerful Earthquake is a great attack. However, Fly. Steven's attack was easily parried. Although Zekrom doesn't have a flying type, and his ability doesn't float, his dual calculations aren't just for show. Thunderbolt. Meteor Mash. Gold's electric charge rushed forward, and landed on Mega Metagross' silvery fist. Raging energy madness hedges, for a brief moment of stalemate. Next moment, the energy position of Meteor Mash was broken by Thunderbolt, and the high voltage current instantly spread throughout Metagross' body. Metagross howled. The body dragged ground back out. Along the way, the ground was drawn by the body of Mega Metagross into a gully that stretched to the edge of the battlefield. Wait until Spark disappears. The heterochromatic Metagross has exited the form of Mega Evolution. His eyes rolled in circles. The referee immediately confirmed the situation. Metagross has lost the ability to fight. Please send the next participating Pokemon, Steven. Spike. The power of the beast is indeed terrifying. It was the trump card after Mega Evolution that was able to instantly kill the long-established champion Steven's trump card. Wow! The audience was in an uproar. Unova and the audience from other regions burst into cheers. And the Hoenn audience is definitely not happy. Come on, Champion Steven, show your perseverance and send me Fang Dejiang Rayquaza to show them some color. Steven, Rayquaza doesn't have it, Caterpie does. Sure enough, Cynthia frowned. The gap between the power of mythical beasts and common Pokemon is too great. This is still a special attack that Zekrom is not good at. If it is a physical attack, the power will only be stronger. Empathy. If you face Zekrom yourself, how to fight against it? Garchomp doesn't work. Ronkron, fighting Garchomp can't be this Zekrom's rival. The only solution seems to be to rely on Regigiga's Hercules ability and excellent attack power, or to get other more targeted legendary Pokemon. Think about it. After the 8th and 4th rounds this time, there will be a 2-week off-season. After defeating Yulongdu, there will be 2 weeks to adjust. A full month of preparation time. In line with the existence of the underground world, it's not impossible to catch a legendary within a month and raise the level by the way. The ensuing battle hardly changed. Zekrom faced rivals who were replaced one after another, and mechanically repeated Thunderbolt, Spike again and again. Let the audience start to sympathize with Steven. It's too awful. The champions and runners-up this time should be N and Cynthia, which is almost the truest thought in the hearts of most audiences at the moment. More people among them are even more optimistic about N winning the championship. Of course, this is also mixed with the uneasy feelings of many people, especially Ho-En fans who have seen Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon making waves in Kanto. If Steven Senpai had Groudon, although he can't fly, Groudon, who has primal reversion and masters long-range strike methods, can easily deal with an Ampharos. Groudon, why did you betray your homeland? 8-4, all 4 games are over. The next round of matches will be held in 2 weeks, namely, Cynthia vs. Yulongdu, 2Z vs 2.4 vs. N. and eBay. Said goodbye to Cynthia. On the same day, they went to Padia region, and because of the way, John joined the trio. After Yibei invited Kishu to enter the underground world, the 4 of them arrived in Lianguang City via teleportation. They were taken aback by Kishu, and they didn't recover for a long time. It wasn't until Kishu visited all the iconic corners of Lianguang City that he was convinced. I really returned to Padia. After being shocked, Kishu decided to entertain the 3 of Yibei well. But, Yibei, who has 2 motorcycles in his heart, decided to go to the beach where Millerton and Olden can be picked up in the game. Chapter 179. The Chief Champion of Padia, Yeci. Evening. Yibei made an excuse to go out and enjoy the scenery of Padia. A group of people overlook the land through flying Pokemon. The salty and cool sea breeze blows. According to the memory in his mind, Yibei found a beach that matched his memory. Saffron's beach is backed by a U-shaped cliff. The beach is wide and there is about a football field that day. Going in, there is a deep mine entrance under the cliff, and I don't know where it leads. There is also a coconut tree growing next to it. Command the Dragonite to land, then Serena, and Kishu saw Yibei decelerating and descending, and hurriedly followed. A group of people landed. Fiery sunsets, holy soft O3 beach. The distance is endless, and under the afterglow of the setting sun, it turns into a sea of colorful gradients. Wow, this beach is nice. Not only is it spacious and sheltered from the wind, but you can also enjoy the sea scenery. It would be great if it is used for the Courtney party. Chishu was pleasantly surprised. It's really great. How about we have a picnic here later? It feels good. Everyone fell in love with this place at a glance. But Yibei was thinking of something else. He quietly came to a corner. Communicate with the invisible alien Leechers. Can you feel the breath left by the legendary Pokemon here? Although it is strange why Yibei would ask such a question, but the heterochromatic Leechers still released his perception with all his strength. Psychic swept the entire beach, and even everything in the cave was swept by her one by one. As a result, Leechers didn't notice anything wrong. No, is that so? Yibei was thoughtful. That is, things did not happen. Of course it could be a long time ago. What? Have you decided to announce the existence of Zone 0 to the outside world? Also, why send me there? I can't beat the Iron Rats. Just when Yibei returned to the 4 girls, seeing Chishu who was making a call on Rotom, his eyes widened in shock. One sentence aroused Yibei's interest. The ear moved. Grape Academy. Yeci, the chairman of the academy, the current president of the Padia Region Alliance, and the chief champion, patiently explained to Kishu. Take it easy, don't let yourself go. Nemo will also go with you to explore Area 0. You mainly play the role of anchor, introduce the secrets of Area 0 to the world. Who is Nemo? Although Kishu is a Prussian, he doesn't pay attention to the affairs of Grape Academy. I don't know anything about Nemo at all. Nemo is a champion trainer. With her here, your safety can be guaranteed, as long as you don't meet Millerton and Guleton. But Sid didn't say anything later, said it will only shake Chishu's determination, not to mention that she has repeatedly told Nemo, when you meet Guleton and Millerton, you must run, don't wait and see. Thinking about it, there shouldn't be any major problems. If Yibei knew that Yeci thought so, he would definitely laugh. Nemo is a fighter. When encountering a powerful Pokemon, it's surprising that she doesn't go up. How could she run? 577. That but I still have friends to entertain. Although Yeci has given Xiao a guarantee of safety, exploring the secrets of the Padian region will also allow her to enter the big wave area. But I have seen the strange tree with strong iron roots, but I don't want to go into this muddy water. The main reason is that she has no shortage of traffic now. After all, there are 2 big streamers around him, and they belong to the kind that can make a lot of money while lying down. And more importantly, Xiao knew it well, knowing that your influence is not enough to be worthy of this mission. Afraid of hindering Yeci's plan. Can I have a chat with President Kazuya? At this time, Bai walked up to Xiao, and the figure appeared in the camera. One sentence instantly caused the 3 women present to look stunned. Even Yeci on the other side of the phone was stunned. Chapter 180 Invite Xiaojuer. The truth about District 0. Bai, similar to Roz, the leader of the Gala region. Also, Covet also has talents, and Covet is leading the Padia region to the World Championship. Talented people are recruited from all over the world. Yeci has long been concerned about Bai, who is making a lot of noise on the internet. But when Yeci wanted to recruit Bai, but he found that Bai was funded by Xiaojuer, so he didn't contact Bai. Did not expect. At this moment, unexpectedly, Bai will be seen beside Xiao. Sorry, accidentally overheard the secret of the Padia alliance, but I have also heard about the great bit of Padia, and I want to explore it. This just happens to stop embarrassing Miss Xiao, and I don't know what to do with it. Of course, Mr. Bai wants to help us. I welcome it very much. A smile flashed across Yeci's face. In addition, if Mr. Bai can contact Miss Xiaojuer and go to the Zero Zone together, I will be more happy. Do you want the influence of Assist Xiaojuer? Chairman Yeci is good at calculating. Bai smiled. I can't guarantee that it will work, but I can help you with a question. This couldn't be better. Hearing this, Yeci was overjoyed. But there is one thing we need to discuss in advance. The Pokemon we tamed in the first reading area should belong to us personally. Thinking of the identities of Guleton and Millerton, Bai raised his mouth deliberately, so as not to argue in the future. Of course, Yeci smiled. It's not that she underestimated Bai and Xiaojuer, but Bai and Xiaojuer showed very limited strength, and it was impossible for them to compete against the champion-level Nemo. When I see the Iron Thorn, maybe Xiaojuer also asked Nemo's help to subdue her. Next, the 2 sides determined the departure time. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, gather at the entrance of Area 0. Bai took Xiao early and left behind a secret base entrance. Immediately, they purchased several sets of picnic gear, returned to the beach, and set up Courtney with the help of Charizard. During the period, Bai invited Xiaojuer, who had been working all day. Facing Bai's invitation, Xiaojuer agreed without any hesitation. In fact, since tomorrow is the opening ceremony of the Kanto Indigo Plateau Conference, Bai's competition will officially begin. Xiaojuer left her schedule early. It can be said that she will not need to work until the end of the Indigo Alliance Conference. Originally, Bai didn't invite her, but she wanted to come to see Bai. Now go straight in both directions. Everyone and their Pokemon enjoy the afterglow of the setting sun in the seaside scenery. Under the setting sun, Serena's different-colored Milotic swims in the sea, jumping out of the water from time to time. Emolga and Eevee chase each other. Dragonite and Black Bang-era fight in seawater. Everyone enjoyed this rare leisure time. Serena is in charge of the barbecue. Although Samai is the youngest, her culinary skills can be called the MVP among the 5. The aroma of barbecue was introduced into the cave with the sea breeze, attracted the Houndoom and Hounda in the cave, menacing them, just ready to snatch food, with Totem Tyranitar being put away by Bai and released again. The huge monster appeared in front of his eyes, coupled with the aura of a tyrant. The Hounders lost all fighting spirit in an instant, trying to get behind the lead Houndoom. But he found that his dead boss had already run away and disappeared, so he fled in all directions and retreated into the cave. It added a bit of laughter to several people. Next day, Alliance passing the torch. This matter is very important for Kanto Alliance. But for Bai, it doesn't really make much sense. Bai politely declined the invitation of Damalan and Yulongdu. Early in the morning, Bai and his group arrived at the entrance of Area 0 early. After waiting for the arrival of Nemo sent by Yeci, you can enter the Zero Zone through the officially controlled entrance. Chapter 181 Cooperate with the official, Padian champion Nemo. Hi, everyone, hello. Sorry I'm late. Far away, everyone saw a girl in a school uniform with wheat-colored skin and single ponytail running all the way from a distance. I'm Nemo. Good morning everyone, Miss Xiaojuer, Bai, Kunyi, the owner of Kishu, and this. Nemo scratched her head in embarrassment. My name is Serena. Serena didn't feel embarrassed when Nemo didn't call out her identity. That's right, it's Serena. I ran too fast just now, and there were a lot of people, so I accidentally forgot. Even though she had never heard of Serena's name, Nemo was not stupid and found a reason for herself, so that neither party is too embarrassed. Certainly, if her breathing rate is more rapid and irregular, it may be more convincing instead of acting with ease and not being serious at all. You too, Please start the live broadcast on 673, we are leaving. Take 5 people to the entrance of Zone 0. Nemo smiled and looked at Xiaojuer and Kishu. Okay. When the two women heard the words, they nodded and started the live broadcast. Since the two girls had already prepared the publicity last night, as soon as the broadcast started, a large number of viewers immediately flooded into the live broadcast room. Adage. This is the first time Kishu has seen it, and the number of people on the broadcast has exceeded 100,000 as soon as he started broadcasting. The number of people in Xiaojuer's live broadcast room is even more exaggerated. It directly broke 1 million, and soon broke 2 million, 3 million. The number of people is still rapidly advancing towards tens of millions. Even if it reaches tens of millions, the number is also increasing rapidly. Seeing this data, Yeci smiled. Now she can still laugh. After all, this live broadcast can attract powerful trainers to tame the ever-increasing number of paradoxical Pokémon, help them reduce stress, good for the Padian Alliance, and by the way, it can also collect tickets to boost the economy, even recruit talents from all over the world. For the Padia region, it is definitely a good thing. If Roz next door knew about such a good thing, his eyes would turn red with envy. Sure enough, inviting Xiaojuer was a very correct decision. On site, with such a huge amount of traffic, even Chishu is envious. She is indeed a world-class goddess. This flow, even if you give her a little bit, it can take off. But this time they are live broadcasting together, and Xiaojuer specially included her in the title, so she must have gained a lot from this wave. After taking off, Chishu looked deeply at Xiaojuer gratefully, as expected of an idol. Then, she can't live up to the idol's trust. Think of this. Chishu opened his mouth immediately. Decided to share the pressure of commentary for the idol adults, and take on the task of explaining in 2 live broadcast rooms at the same time. Catch your eyes with Electro Web. Good morning everyone. Welcome to Kishu live broadcast room. Today I will have a big talk with a beautiful Miss Jua, Meijiang, Serena, Nemo, and the handsome Bai. Let's explore the inside of the giant pit of Padia together and unravel the truth of a zero zone for everyone. Such a cute Stephanie Cac, full of energy, full of power, and 2 completely different styles from Miss Xiaojuer, Mew linkage. 2 chefs. No, it's the ecstasy of 4 chefs. Wow, Miss Xiaojuer actually started a live broadcast. It's so beautiful. Chan is so pretty too. Bai's little big brother is so handsome. Serena-chan feels like first love. Nemo-senpai looks very motivated. Come on, I really want to know what's in the giant pit of Padia. Yes, I have been curious for many years, and I am finally lucky enough to meet you today. Hurry up. Chapter 182 Big Tooth Donphan Majestic Tooth automatically filtered the barrage that praised everyone's beauty. Chishu selected a barrage answer that fit the theme. Hey, I think many viewers are curious about what's in the giant pit of Padia, so I'll give you some news in advance. Everyone must have watched the World Championships yesterday, right? Isn't Miss Toko's figure defeating the champion of Kaluni with Iron Ruts very handsome? Karuni, are you polite? Tuzi is number 1 in the world. By the way, isn't it called Audiobook Donphan? Why is the strange tree called Iron Track? Could it be that the Pokémon inhabiting the Great Pit of Padia are all Pokémon like this that we have never seen before? Barrages frantically swiped the screen. Feeling the enthusiastic response that the barrage has never had before, Kishu was excited. That's right. As you can imagine, there are a lot of paradoxical Pokémon living in the giant pit of Padia. Miss Tuzi's Iron Ruts and Mr. N's Majestic Teeth are both a kind of paradoxical Pokémon. It is a powerful Pokémon that currently exists only in the Padia region. Was talking. A group of people walked through the rugged mountain road and descended to a vast rock platform. In the eyes, I saw a Majestic Tooth sleeping soundly. It looks like Donphan at first glance, with huge teeth and hard purple scales, twice the size of Donphan. It is the Majestic Teeth of the same style as N. The scene in front of him instantly confirmed the authenticity of Chishu's words. For a while, the bullet screen frantically swiped. It's yard Donphan. Didn't listen to the class well, right? It's obviously Majestic Catch an honest man. At the same time, at the moment when everyone discovered Majestic Fang, early on, by ear on the ground, I heard the majestic tusk of a creature approaching. He was still soundly asleep, been waiting for the moment to launch Sucker Punch. Sensing the sound of footsteps getting closer, Majestic Fang suddenly opened his eyes. The huge body stood up at a speed that didn't fit its shape. Like a fat but nimble fat man, with red eyes, majestic teeth, 2 huge curved fangs aimed at the strange tree walking in front of the crowd. Giga impact, limbs stomping heavily on the rock ground. There was a lot of white light emitting from the top of Majestic Fang's head, and his body was like a heavy truck rolling over a strange tree. Asked for flowers. Wherever it passed, the ground left broken pits one after another, and the violent aura that chilled the body overflowed, with an unrivaled momentum. Even the ground under everyone's feet was trembling. There is no doubt, if this attack is carried out, everyone will definitely be smashed into a puddle of flesh. Dying. Facing the impact of the majestic teeth, Xiaojuer panickedly took out the Pokeball from his waist and released the electric belly frog. Thunderbolt. Saffron-colored electric current emerged from the surface of the electric belly frog, drew an arc in the air, and rushed towards the majestic tooth. Wrapped the majestic tooth completely. However, the current did not cause any damage to Majestic Fang, even blocking the attacking footsteps of the majestic teeth. The audience who are watching the live broadcast are happy. Electric system attacks ground system. Is there so much pressure? It seems that Miss Xiaojuer really panicked. Hurry up, where are your teammates? Help me. Great opportunity. The hero saves the beauty. Bai is quick to act. Don't worry, Senior Nemo will make a move. 0. Chapter 183. Parthia Tauros. Bai shot. Tauros, close combat. Behind the strange tree, Nemo's voice sounded. Next moment, then I saw a bull with black fur all over its body, wrapped in brown fighting energy stance, rushing out, colliding with Majestic Fang. Black's Tauros, a regional variant peculiar to Padia. Nemo's Peta Tauros is a fighting species. Compared with the Tauros in the Kanto region, the Tauros attribute of the fighting species is 150 fighting. Using close combat has this type of damage bonus. Boom. There was a loud bang. Horns and tusks collide. Majestic tusks wrestle with Tauros. Both are power Pokemon. Normal energy and fighting energy crazily hedge and consume each other. Fighting beats normal. The white light on Majestic Fang dissipates significantly faster, which means that his energy consumption is greater. But the situation is not in favor of Tauros. The majestic teeth continue to increase output, putting pressure on Tauros. Tauros' body was constantly retreating, his limbs leaving 4 long drag marks on the hard rock ground. High speed. Keep going like this. Together with Tauros, Majestic Fang will smash everyone against the wall and crush them. Seems to be aware of this. With a violent roar, Tauros exploded with all his strength, and the energy position wrapped around his body doubled instantly. The ground beneath my feet is cracking. Tauros not only withstood the impact of Majestic Fang, but even forced Majestic Fang back. Is this Paradox Pokemon? Its amazing strength. Nemo looked at Majestic Fang excitedly, becoming more and more satisfied with it. To know her Tauros, although not the main force, is also the trump card in the second team, possess the strength of the early stage of the championship. On behalf of this majestic tooth, it also has the strength of a champion. Just when Nemo was shocked, being pushed back tens of meters by Tauros, who was not as big as him, Majestic Tooth fell. The white light on the body soared several times. Giga Impact made another effort. Boom. Majestic Fang exploded with all its strength, exerting force upwards, directly knocking Tauros into the air and crashing into the cliff. Tauros. Nemo watched the scene in astonishment, with a dazed look on her face. Boom, 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 boom. After hitting the Tauros, Majestic, with red teeth and red eyes, is going forward indomitably, smashing everything he meets along the way, and attacking everyone at a faster speed. Xiaojuer widened his eyes. Ruined. Nemo hurriedly wanted to take out another Pokeball, but it was too late. The live broadcast room is full of barrage. No, Miss Xiaojuer. Xiaojuer, my goddess, run. Yeci, who was watching the live broadcast, slapped the table with a slap. What is Nemo doing? This is a global broadcast. In case something happens to Xiaojuer in Padia, don't say that Padia Alliance will lose face. Padia can't afford the follow-up impact alone. Under tension. 4.0. Yes, he even overlooked that Nemo's Tauros actually has the strength of a champion, and is also a Power King type Pokemon. If there is an accident, you really can't blame Nemo. It's just that she really doesn't care about so much now. Extreme speed. Suddenly, a calm voice resounded in everyone's ears. The sound is not loud, but it gives people a strong sense of security. Chapter 184. Bai Strikes. Explosively kill the majestic tooth. Bai made the move. Bai is handsome. But Senior Nemo's Tauros is a champion. Can Bai stand up to it? There are bullet screens full of hope, but there are also doubts from the trainer of Parthia. After such a fuss, Yeci, who calmed down, finally realized the horror of this majestic tooth. She doubted whether Bai could block the majestic tooth. However, in the next moment, these thoughts were completely integrated into one voice. Bai is amazing. I saw a tiny white light pass through everyone's line of sight, and collided with the unparalleled Majestic Fang at 03. In the minds of the people, it should be that the petite figure was instantly knocked into the air. However, in fact, the opposite is true. Everyone only saw a petite fist hitting Majestic Fang in the blink of an eye. There seems to be infinite power contained in the small fist. Majestic Fang's unrivaled figure was abruptly stopped. The head crashes violently into the ground in an instant. Boom. Loud noise came out. The screen trembled for a while, and Xiaojuer was so shocked that he sat down on the ground. At the same time, driven by the impact inertia, the hind limbs of Xiaojuer bent into the air. Click. It sounded like a cracking bone. It makes everyone's scalp numb and their backs cold. But it's not over yet, because after Majestic Fang's huge body soared into the air, It pressed towards Greninja. When everyone thinks that the other party will get out of the way, in the white light, Greninja retracted the fist that landed on Majestic Fang, and punched Stockpile with his right fist. A punch with strong wind directly knocked Xiaojuer's huge body flying more than 10 meters away, and fell to the ground. Boom. After a loud noise, Majestic Fang fell to the ground. Bai threw out a heavy ball casually and subdued it. Thump. Heavy ball falls silent. Bai stepped forward and picked up the Pokeball. Majestic Fang. Ground plus fighting? Jing. Ground? Ability, ancient activity, talent, orange. Level, 87. The paradox of the game setting is that Pokemon are all genderless. It is reasonable for the future Bbook to be genderless, but it is not reasonable for the ancient species to be genderless. This article is changed to have gender distinction. A high-level champion with orange talent. It is not surprising to be able to beat Tauros in the early stage of the championship. But compared to Greninja, who has reached the peak of the championship at this stage, it is far worse. Yeci saw that it was not Nemo who took Xiaojuer, but Bai who took Xiaojuer. Although I felt a little pity in my heart, I still accepted the result. If there is no Bai, she couldn't bear the consequences even more. Yay, it worked. So handsome. It has to be Bai. 167. By the way, are Bai and Greninja both champion level? Chairman of Ether Foundation. 1 million reward points. 666. Boss Hideki. Rich woman. Hungry, please take care of me. Alola Ether Paradise Director's Office. Luciman looked at the handsome Bai on the screen, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. This is her man. Of course. The ostentation must be full. Wow, 1 million rewards. Thank you boss for the 1 million rewards. As a vigorous girl, Chishu was not immersed in fear for too long. Soon, the joy blossomed under the surprise of present. Excited to say thank you. Chapter 185 Leech Life Global. Yeci's ambition. Driven by Luciman, many rich people have also offered rewards one after another, and those who have no money will send flowers, evaluation tickets, and monthly tickets for free. What's more, there are some eye-catching rumors on the public screen that they want to buy the majestic teeth in Bai's hands. For this, Chishu and Bai naturally refused. Not to mention that Pokemon trading is an illegal act explicitly prohibited by the Alliance. The degree of danger of paradoxical Pokemon alone is not something anyone can control. Paradox Pokemon are a very special kind of Pokemon. Each one of them is extremely powerful and full of Primal's wild ferocity, or ruthless and cold. Therefore, if the strength cannot reach the height of controlling them, it is best not to catch the attention of paradoxical Pokemon. So if you want to control Paradox Pokemon, what channels should you use to obtain it, and what level should you have at the lowest level? Among the many barrages, there was such a barrage passing by, which happened to be seen by Chishu. This friend asked well, as far as I know, because the ecology in the Padia pit is very good. Cough cough. Nemo looked at Chishu with his eyes open and talking nonsense, feeling a little shy. Can the ecology in this giant pit be applauded? Haha, I mean the ecology in the pit of Parthia is very suitable for paradoxical Pokemon. Due to the increase in the number of paradoxical Pokemon, our Padia official is also considering, and in the future, we will also want to open access certificates to trainers who want to obtain powerful and paradoxical Pokemon. As for the open level, everyone has also seen the terrifying fighting power displayed by Xiaojuer just now. Talking room. Chishu pointed the camera at the devastated rock ground. If you travel alone, you must at least have the strength of a champion. Champion? Exclamation mark. Sorry for disturbing you. This is just a single person. What about multiple people? Can you really find a boss to take you flying? It is true that there are options for multiplayer teams. The requirements are, there must be a champion who holds 3 champion Pokemon in the team. Only 3 people can be brought in with them, and they must have at least 6 elite Pokemon. The Y, elite, hopes dashed again. Although outrageous, but considering the strength of paradoxical Pokemon, this setting is indeed reasonable. That's it, the Tauros you shot just now is the Pokemon of Champion Nemo. Come to think of it, Xiaojuer's strength is at least at the champion level. From this, we can also see the power of the paradoxical Pokemon, strong even in championship class. Of course, Bai's little big brother's Greninja is a special case. Please don't refer to it. In short, if your strength is not enough, try to improve your strength. Paradoxical Pokemon cubs that are slightly weaker than Arnold, there are no 0 area, but at least they are at the elite level. As long as you have an elite level and are young enough, even if you don't know a champion trainer, you can still apply to enter with our Padia Alliance champion trainer. Marzao, hearing Kishu's explanation, the corners of Yeci's mouth raised slightly. Yes, choosing Kishu did not disappoint her. Come to think of it, when this live broadcast is over, I don't know how many young geniuses would choose to come to Padia. For those young geniuses who have families and backgrounds and can be brought by the elders of the family, Padia may not be able to keep them. But Yeci's target has never been them. Her real target is those grassroots geniuses with no background. Chapter 186, Stupid Strange Tree. It's also kind. Without the support of family power, A genius who can grow to an elite level at a young age is even more rare. The Padia Alliance is kind to them, and they don't worry about not being able to recruit new blood. After a long time, why should the future Padia not prosper? Now maybe it's Gala, it's Sinnoh, it's Unova. But the future must belong to them. Padia. Is this your purpose, to recruit young talent trainers with no background? Yeci. The corners of Bai's mouth are slightly raised. Have to say, Yeci's move is very clever, and it has a huge impact on most regions. But Kalos, where Bai is obviously not included in this list. Bai owns the underground world, and the Pokémon in his hands are not limited to paradoxical Pokémon, common, rare, Uzentia, and even quasi-god, Ultra Beast, Eudemons, Divine Beast. Bai can provide them all. Just change the permissions to temporary permissions. Give a time limit of 1 day. Yeci's plan can have a devastating impact. Shaking his head, Yuri stopped thinking about it. Continue. Bai nodded from the crowd and walked ahead first. Wow, Bai, you are strong. How about we play a game? Nemo eagerly ran up from behind and circled around Bai. For Yeci behind the camera, the corners of his mouth are slightly upturned. Nemo is really alive. When it comes to fighting, I can't control myself. But, looking at the screen, Bai did not show disgust or impatience. There was a look of anticipation in Yeci's eyes. It might be good to let Nemo and Bai develop. Let's talk about the battle after this mission is over. Bai politely rejected Nemo's application. Sister, don't you even look at this occasion? Just stop fighting. Oh, yes, then you must fight me when this mission is over. Nemo heard. An apologetic smile flashed across his face, but he soon regained his fighting spirit. By the way, if possible, I will meet Xiaojuer later. Let me make a move. Nemo put her fists together on her chest. A look of charm and pleading appeared on her wheat-colored healthy face. Just, very cute. Do you still need to ask for something like this? Nemo-senpai is really f***ing cute. Upstairs is not pure. Is it super or not? Even in dangerous situations, Ni still can't change her character. The content in the barrage once aroused Yeci's sympathy. Secretly shaking his head, it really is. She really made a mistake by choosing Nemo this time. I actually forgot Nemo's warlike attribute. It is estimated that at this moment, Xiao has completely wiped out the things she promised her. Well, why did you encounter such a dangerous paradoxical Pokémon as soon as you came in? At this time, Xiaojuer looked at Kishu curiously. Kishu became numb all of a sudden, and readily agreed, but she didn't know much about paradoxical Pokémon. She don't know. Looking at the strange tree in the camera, he was also numb with compassion. Chapter 187 Nemo's Magic Mask. Meow. Good guy. Could it be that she, the chief champion of the Alliance, is going to give her the Book of Zoo and the Book of Purple? At the same time that the corners of Yeci's mouth twitched, let me answer it. At this time, Bai turned around to relieve Kishu. Harvested a worship of the strange tree. The owners of the Majestic Teeth and the Iron Tracks destroy the terrifying ability of the barrier. They walked out of the barrier's shackles in the Zero Zone and came to the periphery. The more powerful the Majestic Teeth are, the further they go, so the strength of this Majestic Tooth is a high-level champion. If you go inside, the strength of the Majestic Teeth you encounter should become weaker. As for seeing other kinds of paradoxical Pokémon, you have to go deeper into Area Zero. Which way or more? I have known you for a long time. Bai is handsome. You know a lot. Oh, the damn charm. Along a winding path, a group of people continued to move forward, listening to the sound of collisions in my ears. Everyone came to the next step. Come into view. The iron ruts have been colliding with the Majestic Teeth. Absurd Pokémon are divided into ancient species and future species. The paradoxical Pokémon of the ancient species are more primal and wild, ferocious. The paradoxical Pokémon of the future species are even more ruthless. They are all types that are not close to humans, and it can be seen from the appearance. The two in front of you, among them, Majestic Fang is the ancient species, the attribute is ground plus fighting, and the Iron Rut is the future species, the attribute is ground plus steel. Ground restrains steel type, fighting type also restrains steel type. The Majestic Teeth completely seal the Iron Ruts. Only, an embarrassing picture appeared for Kishu. The strange tree here just finished talking about the Majestic Teeth and sealed the Iron Ruts. As a result, he saw Iron Ruts pushing away the Majestic Teeth that were twice his size. The slap in the face came so suddenly that the audience didn't catch it. What's going on? Didn't Majestic Fang seal the Iron Tracks? Yes. Why are the Iron Ruts running against the Majestic Teeth? PFFT. Ha 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 ha. For a while, joyful laughter filled the live broadcast room. Even Bai and others couldn't help laughing. Indeed, the two paradoxical Pokémon in front of him were a little too disrespectful to Kishu. At this time, Nemo, who was full of fighting spirit, looked at Bai excitedly. How about one per person? Good. Bai nodded. Charizard, flamethrower. Bai sent out his fire-type Miso, African Charizard. Charizard's body flew high into the sky. The dragon's mouth opened. A fiery pillar of fire spit up from Charizard's mouth. quickly enveloping the Iron Trace and Majestic Fang in battle. Hit by the restrained attack, Xiaojuer howled miserably. But Xiaojuer has rough skin and thick flesh, and he is not very cold about the flames, so he took the opportunity to counterattack. Use force to fly the Iron Rat out. Magic Mask Meow, ever-changing. On the other side, facing Majestic Fang, Nemo dispatched the main force of the first team, the high-level champion level 4.5 Grass Evil type Miso, the 3 royal family of Padia Grass family. The Magic Mask snapped his fingers, and the next moment, a bouquet fell from the sky and landed on Majestic Fang's head. Boom! The bouquet exploded above the head of the Majestic Tooth. The impact force crushed Majestic Fang to the ground, and his body came into intimate contact with ground. Thousands of flowers. Nemo continued to exert pressure, making Xiaojuer unable to resist at all. Chapter 188 Conquer at the same time. Paradoxical Pokemon. On the other side, the body of the Iron Rat that was pushed out hit the ground hard. Charizard flew in the air, red in the mouth, exuding high-temperature fire pillars non-stop, chasing towards the Iron Rats. Along the way, the ground is scorched black. The flames gushed out and covered the body of the Iron Rat again, causing a lot of damage to the iron. In the flames, the Iron Rat resisted the burning of the flames. Curl up your body into an iron ball and roll towards the distance. For a while, although the high-speed rollout could not completely avoid Charizard's attack, but it also avoids most of the damage. Fire Spin. Bai's command came out in time. Charizard immediately changed tactics, raised the dragon's head, and opened the huge dragon's mouth. The flame brewing in the mouth spirals out. O3 is like a rope, envelops the Iron Rats and roll out in a circle of fire. If you want to break through, you must bear the fire attack. The Iron Rats stopped rollout, patrol left and right, trying to find a breakthrough. But none. The fire spin spirals down, trapping him firmly in the middle. But Charizard didn't stop attacking. Flamethrower. The dragon's mouth opened again, and the fiery flames swooped down from the sky. Falling into the siege of the fire spin will cover the unavoidable Iron Rats, further allowing the Iron Rats to withstand stronger output. After about 10 seconds, Charizard and Magic Mask Mew stopped at almost the same time. The flames and smoke dissipated. On the utterly devastated ground, Iron Rats and Majestic Fang rolled their eyes in circles, losing their ability to fight. Swish. Bai and Nemo threw out the Pokeball at the same time. The difference is that the heavy ball thrown by Bai succeeded. The Ultra Ball thrown by Nemo was cracked and failed. Use this. Bai threw a heavy ball to Nemo. Heavy ball still has a lot of inventory. There are hundreds of them. They are all mined in the underground world and tunnel, and it will continue to increase in the future. Bai was not stingy either. Okay, thank you. Bai. Nemo took it without thinking too much. After being thrown out, Baian easily regained the Majestic Teeth. Iron Tracks Ground plus Steel? Jing. Ground? Ability, Quark Charge, Talent, Orange? Level, 88? Majestic Fang? Ground plus Fighting? Jing. Ground? Ability, Ancient Activity, Talent, Orange? Level, 84? All Orange Talent. But the level of this Majestic Tooth is weaker than the one Bai subdued. Only the strength of the midterm champion and the Iron Rats will be much stronger. Orange Talent, high-level champion 917 combat power, even stronger than the Majestic Tooth that Bai subdued earlier. No wonder Iron Track even showed strength to reverse attributes disadvantage. Is this a championship level battle? It ended so suddenly. Champion level battle? I thought it would be the same as champion duel. The wild champion Pokemon is so stupid. Bai is so warm. He took the initiative to present the heavy ball. He is careful and warm. If I were Nemo, I would probably be captured. Is there a possibility that Nemo-senpai is also very strong, and her family is quite big, so she is not a normal person who can take on the role? She may not like someone so easily. Chapter 189 The Iron Moth suddenly killed. Bai is behind. Completed the conquest. The group continued to move forward, encountering other Iron Tracks on the way. Nemo excitedly chose a larger one to fight and subdue. Further on, there is a place where Majestic Teeth and Iron Tracks gather together. Bai releases Dragonite and Charizard, and everyone in help avoids this area. Although the Majestic Teeth and Iron Rats are powerful, they cannot fly after all. For long-range strikes, the flash cannon with only Iron Tracks is still a bit threatening. Guarded by Dragonite and Charizard, everyone came to the upper area of Zone 0 safe and sound. Yes, bypassing the living quarters of Majestic Fangs and Iron Rats. This is the real interior of Zone 0. Their zeroth area can be roughly divided into upper, middle, lower, and bottom layers. The landscape of each layer is different, and it is an extremely mysterious place in the Padia region. When you visit Area 0, you must pay attention. The Pokemon on each floor are different. Shisha pointed at the camera and introduced to everyone. A lot of knowledge. That's it. Wait, I can't use it. Useless knowledge has increased. The upper layer has lush green grass, as well as slopes and river waterfalls, and the spiral terrain allows people to move safely to the middle layer. The central area has a large hole leading to the lower level, but there is cloud formation, so it is impossible to directly observe the lower layer. The first observation station and the second observation station will be established here. Looking into the distance, Xiao and everyone felt very strange about the white clouds blocking the sight in the center of Area Zero. This feeling is like being on the top of a mountain, overlooking the earth. The entrance to Area Zero is indeed very high. That being said, there seems to be no problem. Go deeper. Everyone at Bai saw common Pokemon such as Riku, Venomoth, Chansey, Kylan, Bbook and other supersized yellow electric mice running on the grass. Why is there still common Pokemon? Didn't you say that there are paradoxical Pokemon in Area Zero? Damn, look behind you, there is a Volcarona. Is there a Volcarona behind you? Xiao subconsciously read the rumors about the eye-catching barrage. Volcarona? When everyone heard the words, they all turned their heads curiously. I saw a Pokemon that looked roughly the same as Volcarona and had a pair of Oeberg wings, and it was attacking quickly. Iron Poison Moth Fire plus Poison? Ability, Quark Charge, Talent, Orange. Level, 90. Level 90, almost half a foot into the master level. No wonder they dared to stare at them riding Charizard and Dragonite. Hurricane, the Iron Moth flapped its wings, and the hurricane spiraled forward to form a horizontal twister, attacking the three of Bai. This is his usual way of catching prey. Hit rival with a hurricane first to unbalanced rival in the first place, then according to the rival contest condition, decide whether to attack additionally or eat directly. Came behind you, Fire Blast. Bai patted Charizard on the head. Hearing this, Charizard quickly turned round. While the wings are flapping, the figure is stable in the air. The head was raised high, then pressed down suddenly, and the dragon's mouth opened. Spit up is a large character flame condensed by pure hot flames. Hurricane meets Fire Blast. Obtained. In the air. Boom. Just heard a loud bang. Everyone only felt short-term tinnitus and deafness. The two attacks collided and an explosion occurred. The Iron Moth increased the flapping speed of its wings again, and the scale of the hurricane suddenly increased by one circle. Completely suppress and devour Fire Blast. The Invincible Charizard was suppressed. This is not a Volcarona. Is this a paradoxical future species? Don't worry about that. Why didn't Dragonite make a move? Techno Blast. Chapter 190. Iron Poison Moth is good at special defense, so I use special attack. Knowing the level of this iron poisonous moth, Bai sent Genesect early on to stand by at any time, ready to make a move. Seeing that the situation is not good right now, Bai decisively activated the backhand that he had prepared long ago. Much attention. The handsome figure of Genesect Saured appeared in the air, and the cannon behind him pressed down. The violent energy was brewing in the muzzle, and even the surrounding space seemed to be affected and became distorted. FK, what Pokemon is this? What a handsome feeling. Whether you are handsome or not depends on whether your combat power is strong. Damn it. Just when the barrage was flying and discussing the combat power of Genesect cut, out of the blue, blame. It was as if the low hum of the Star Destroyer cannon was fired, which made the heartbeat stagnate. Swish. A dazzling beam of light shot out suddenly, occupying everyone's field of vision, piercing through the hurricane in an instant, and hitting the poisonous iron moth behind it. Boom. Just heard a loud noise. The iron poisonous moth was like a kite with a broken string in an instant, and its wings fell back weakly with black smoke, leaving two long arcs in the air. Spike. Handsome. FK. This expressive power, is this really an unpopular Pokemon? Quasi-God is nothing more than that. I remember, Genesect, Pokemon in Unova Legendary. Unova? Unova again? In fact, there are also legendaries in other regions, but I don't know why. The legendaries that appeared in front of people this year are all Unova. While there was a lot of discussion on the barrage, Bai threw an Ultra Ball to subdue the iron poisonous moth. Well, Bai, do you know any news about this Pokemon? Scratching head, until the end of the battle, Xiao, who couldn't remember the news of the iron poisonous moth, asked Bai for help. In fact, apart from the iron thorns of the electric system, she also knows the majestic teeth and iron withdrawal traces. Yeci, Nemo, this is a disgrace to our Parthia. Xiao. Iron poison moth, poison plus fire type, good at special attack, special defense, speed. Iron moths, similar in appearance to Volcarona, will follow people on the ground from the sky, and sometimes attack them. Against him, it is best to take physical attacks. When you come to explore the Zero area, pay attention to the soaring in the sky behind you. Xiao summed up and added, asking for flowers. Physical means of attack. If I remember correctly, you clearly let your Pokemon use special attacks. After all, it is a legendary Pokemon. If there is no legendary Pokemon, let's use physical attack to crack it. Keep going. Silently keep the lens away from yourself. Notice that other people around are observing the scenery and Pokemon below. Xiao quietly moved to Bai's ear. 0. Thank you, Bai. If it wasn't for you, I would be numb now. Xiaojuer expressed his gratitude to Bai in a low voice, with a look of admiration on his face. Bai, who was blown to his ears by the hot air, looked back at Xiaojuer. The strange tree reveals a row of cold shark teeth. Well, it doesn't get astringent. Concentrated, Bai's gaze is like a scanning machine, scanning the Pokemon below. Data panels appear in front of you one by one. Stop. Charizard and Dragonite stopped suddenly. Everyone looked at Bai curiously. What's the matter? Did you find anything? Look, there are several oversized Pokeballs below. Where is it? Really? There are so many Pokeballs. Chapter 191 Bone Pattern Hyper Voice Crocodile. Bottom Wars. Fierce Evil Mushroom, Grass plus Dark Type, Ability Ancient Activity, Excellent Attack Physical Strength, Excellent Dual Resistance, Speed. Special Attack Normal, is a very tricky rival, although his strength is good. His IQ is not high because he is too violent. Like a boxer who only knows how to fight hard, the remote output method is a better way to subdue him. Are you violent? I think it suits me well. Nemo reached out and rubbed her chin. 387 Long Distance Words, Bone Pattern Hyper Voice Crocodile, Singing with Flames. Nemo sent out the Padia Fire-type Royal Family, the bone-printed Hyper Voice Crocodile, which is good at special attacks, launched an attack on a huge ferocious mushroom. Bai was slightly surprised, because the rival chosen by Nemo is the only orange talent in this group of fierce mushrooms worthy of being a champion. The eyes are vicious. At the same time, Barrage Flying, I have a hunch. Bai is going to send Pokemon to melee, +1. Beedrill, U-turn. Bai did send a Beedrill, which is good at physical melee combat. Get the command. Beedrill is like an arrow from the string. A lot of green light came out of his body, and he swooped towards the fierce mushroom. Insects 4 times restrain Grass Evil. Unprepared by the fierce mushroom, Beedrill succeeded in one blow. The body immediately turned into the ray of light and returned to Pokeball C. Charizard swooped down, and Bai threw a Pokeball to subdue it. The battle ended so quickly that it even overtook Nemo, who was the first to throw the bone-patterned Hyper Voice Crocodile. Really? Just no. As expected of you. Bai, hey, I know rival's weakness. Hey, I just challenge rival's strength. Is this the boss's fighting style? It's really not mimic. Wait until Nemo's battle is over. Bai and his group can already see a row of white buildings. Which one? Xiaojuer, who had been silent all this time, looked curiously at the row of buildings. The first observatory was built 87 years ago. The building materials are all made of top-level materials that can resist the attacks of legendary-level Pokémon. There is a bed help trainer and Pokémon to restore their physical strength, which can provide shelter, which is equivalent to a safe house. Nemo introduced to everyone. After becoming a champion, she understood all these contents. Moreover, before entering the Great Pit of Padia, Yeci specifically instructed her, if you encounter an unbeatable rival, you can seek refuge at the nearest observation station. Shall we go down and have a look? Xiaojuer looked at the crowd inquiringly. Serene and Xiaojuer looked at Bai. I'm fine, but I'm curious about the decoration style inside. Then go and have a look. Xiaojuer finally made a conclusion. Wow, I feel that Bai has a strong voice. After all, there is only the second champion level combat power. Not necessarily, by the way. Isn't M also quite strong? But she never made a move. That's because rival is not a dragon type. Chan wants to become a dragon type master. 5.0 Laubar, come on, you can go to the fan filter. It is definitely not strong enough. I will put it here today. If M has champion level strength, I will live broadcast and eat Yujinxian. Old bar, eating and drinking in when again. At the same time, Padian bottom, outside the Zero Zone laboratory, 4 huge creatures are fighting. Chapter 192 Guleton vs. Millerton, Iron Thorns. Unlike the civil war in Zuzi's version, the 2 Guletons and the 2 Millertons all chose to fight against each other. The blazing strong light shines directly on the earth, enhancing the power of the flames. Electromagnetism spreads all over the ground, and then the airfield increases the power of thunder. The shadows of Spark and Fire Punch intertwined, and the battle spread to the bottom of the entire Zero Zone, upper area, walked around the interior of the observatory. The curiosity in the hearts of everyone and a group of fans has been answered, and it is just a very simple design. Although not comfortable enough, but it is definitely enough for temporary shelter. Keep going. After a while, a Pokemon similar to O3 Volcarona appeared again in everyone's sight. This is only. Xiaojuer turned to Bai with begging eyes. Crawling wings, bug plus fighting type Pokemon, have the same characteristics as Volcarona from the primal era. Good at physical attack, has a good special defense. Other abilities are mediocre. It is best to use long-range physical output means to fight ancient species corresponding to the Iron Moth. Xiaojuer concluded, then I'm counting on you. Boneprint Hyper Voice Crocodile. Nemo still dispatched the Boneprint Hyper Voice Crocodile. The main reason is that she is not very good against Pokémon with ground wings. Flash sings. Through the infinite combo of flame singing, Nemo eats again to complete the subjugation. On Bai's side, Gardevoir, the commander of a different color, appeared on the stage. Super restraint fighting, psychic. The body of the ground climbing wing flew into the air uncontrollably, and then fell down violently. The double attack of physical and mental directly kills the ground wing. After subduing the crawling wings, everyone continued to go down to the middle level area. It is also the bottom layer of the grass region domain. At this level, in addition to the grass, there are also many more rock areas. When Bai and others passed by a rock area, they saw many creatures similar to Oreburg Tyranitar, Green's Oreburg body, Wise Eyes. I know this. Iron Thorn, rock plus electric type Pokémon, good at physical attack, extremely high defensive physical strength, can use special attack means to target. In addition, Iron Thorn has an extremely calm temperament and doesn't like meaningless fights, so when you show your strength, he won't take the initiative to provoke you. Haha, I finally met a familiar one and showed Chishu happily. But what Kishu said makes sense. The Iron Thorn really didn't attack rashly. Looking at their eyes, they seem to be thinking whether to do it or not. Surprised, is this intelligence really something that non-superpower Pokémon can possess? Electric-type Pokémon. Xiaojuer looked at the Iron Thorns, and there was a hint of covet in her eyes. Appearance of quasi-god Tyranitar. This Iron Thorn should not be weak at 990, and it is very valuable to conquer. Choose the one standing on the left rock. Bai's voice reached Xiaojuer's ears. Xiaojuer looked at Bai in surprise, followed Bai's finger to point in the direction. Xiaojuer saw an existence that was much bigger than the other Iron Thorns. It is indeed a good choice. With a relationship between Xiaojuer and Bai, I don't need to say thank you. Facing the camera, Xiaojuer sent Zebstrika. At the same time, the Mega Evolution Stone on the arm is dazzling. It was her harvest in the Dazha Valley. The Zebstrika Mega Evolution Stone. Chapter 193 Xiaojuer's Mega Evolution Battle. Mega Evolution. Zebstrika's body was enveloped in brilliant seven-colored light. Light fades. Mega Zebstrika, with a longer mane and a taller and more powerful figure, appeared in front of Iron Thorn. At the moment of discovering Mega Evolution Zebstrika, the Iron Thorns already knew that the war was coming. Giga Impact. The Iron Thorns did not hesitate to take the initiative to attack. There was a lot of white light coming out of him, like a heavy truck rushing towards Zebstrika. Iron Deluge. Giga Impact is a normal type trick. After bathing in Iron Deluge, it turns back into an electrical attribute, and the ability of Xiaojuer's Mega Zebstrika is an electric engine. Being attacked by electricity will not be injured, but speed +1. A scene that stunned Iron Thorn appeared. Iron Deluge directly transformed the white light of Giga Impact into dazzling gold current. Protect. Although Giga Impact has become an electrical attack, but Giga Impact's tackle force can still cause damage to Mega Zebstrika. In plus grade lagging behind, Xiaojuer didn't let Mega Zebstrika fight directly. A layer of white barrier stands in front of him. Boom. Giga Impact landed on Protect barrier. The power of lightning and the violent impact instantly left a cracked crater on the Protect barrier. Wisps of electricity across the barrier to attack Mega Zebstrika. Electric engine ability triggers. A halo of blue emerges from the surface of Mega Zebstrika. Mega Zebstrika speed increased, and at the same time, Protect barrier has also reached the limit he can bear. Just as the electric engine of Thunderbolt cannot withstand Pikachu's 10 million volt Thunderbolt, Protect in the real world also has its upper limit. Avoid. Seeing that the desired result has appeared, Xiaojuer immediately directed Mega Zebstrika to get out of the way. Mega Zebstrika got the order and quickly turned sideways. Click middle dot. Protect barrier completely shattered. The Iron Thorns are like a cannonball, impacting forward. With increased speed, Mega Zebstrika, who dodged early, easily avoided the impact of the Iron Thorns. Double kick. It is a fast attack Pokémon in itself, plus the speed is improved. Mega Zebstrika broke out with full speed, and quickly caught up with Iron Thorn. A flick. The back kick with brown light continued to stomp on the back of the Iron Thorn. Boom, boom. Iron Thorn is forced to bear the restrained damage from fighting. Cry out. The body lost its balance and fell to the ground. Double kick. Little Jew took advantage of the victory to pursue. Iron Thorns fell to the ground, too late to dodge. The continuous stomp fell on the Iron Thorn, and the Iron Thorn couldn't get up at all. In the end, Mega Zebstrika leapfrogged the Iron Thorn through continuous restraint attacks. Go, Ultra Ball. Xiaojuer excitedly threw the Ultra Ball to complete the capture. Wow, Miss Xiaojuer, Lielzao, actually 1-2. Damn it, let's hang it up. The gym level defeated the champion level paradoxical Pokémon. Mega Evolution. Do you think I don't exist? Old 8. Look, even Miss Xiaojuer has tamed a paradoxical Pokémon, and hasn't played it yet. Come to cheat for food and drink again? At the same time, not far from where the people are, a Garchomp is fighting a Pokémon that looks like Megasalamence. Chapter 194 Rumbling Moon and Garchomp. Garchomp ground plus dragon late blooming quasi-god Pokémon, 600 species strength, a Pokemon that grows up to be stronger than normal. And the Pokemon that was chasing her, shaped like Mega Salamence, huge blood-colored dual wing beat, with a heel feather on the outside of the wings. It is the ancient paradoxical Pokemon Roaring Moon, Rumbling Moon, Dragon plus Evil, 590 species strength. Although the owner of the Roaring Moon is comparable to a Mega Salamence, his species strength is indeed not as good as a Super 487 level Salamence, not even as good as Salamence's 600, but fortune and misfortune depend on each other. Rumbling Moon species strength is 10 points less than Salamence, however, its effective distribution is extremely high. The excellent 139 attack line and 119 speed line make him a very qualified attack speed player, and the 70-point special attack allocation also makes the other attributes of Rumbling Moon more powerful. Extremely strong attack speed line, and the ability to learn Dragon Dance. It made Garchomp so depressed that he exploded. That's what's got Garchomp in trouble right now. After Dragon Dance is strengthened, the Roaring Moon is too fast. Even if Garchomp relies on Sword Dance to strengthen his attack, he will try his best to ensure that he will not be at a disadvantage in frontal combat, but also subject to the cunning guerrilla tactics of Rumbling Moon. Although it is impossible to succeed in every attack, it is normal for one attack to succeed once out of 10. Especially this Rumbling Moon keeps Jing all the way. The Dragon-type Jing has a damage bonus of 2.0. With a powerful move like Dragon Rush, every confrontation can cause a lot of damage. Garchomp has never been as frustrated as he is today. Dragon Stars. Garchomp roared, head held high, spit up from the mouth of the dragon. A violent dragon energy rushes towards soaring in the sky, and then explodes like fireworks, turning into energy meteors. Bombed down. The large-scale attack fell on the ground, causing explosions again and again. Boom boom boom. The Dragon Star group killed the Pokemon on the ground one after another, blasting countless deep pits on the ground, and Rumbling Moon relied on her excellent speed to dodge left and right, and succeeded. Dodge the attack. Excellent speed. Far away, noticing the movement caused by the Dragon Star group from a distance, look over. Bai's eyes lit up instantly when he saw the Roar's performance. Roaring Moon, Dragon plus Evil, Jing, Dragon, Ability, Ancient Activity, Talent, Gold, Level, 91, Gold Talent, Master Pokemon. No wonder he can chase after Garchomp. Garchomp Superscript O Dragon plus Ground, Ability, Strong Jaw, Talent, Gold, Level, 90, Gold again. Although Garchomp's level is only champion level peak 90. But the talent is unexpectedly powerful. At the same time, while Garchomp was dodging the attack from the Roaring Moon, a large amount of Zan Blue energy appeared all over his body. Dragon Rush. Garchomp's whole body was wrapped in the energy of the dragon, and he swooped down from a high altitude. Although the Roaring Moon is faster, but the restrictions of Draco Meteor left Rumbling Moon with nowhere to dodge. Crunch. The Roaring Moon dragon opened its mouth, and the black light covered its sharp teeth. Garchomp slammed tackle on Rumbling Moon. Rumbling Moon took the opportunity to bite Garchomp. The two sides were deadlocked in the air at 4.6, and no one would admit defeat. Clever Garchomp's eyes brightened. One per person. Bai looked at him. Okay, I'll pick Garchomp. Leave the Rumbling Moon to me. Bai took advantage of the trend and chose the remaining roaring months after being picked. Wow, you two are so cunning. Nemo looked at Bai and who confirmed the ownership of the two Pokemon with a few words. Ridicule out loud. Chapter 195 Mega Gardevoir is ready to fight. But she didn't really care. Anyway, this is Zone 0. There are countless powerful Pokemon. Haha, I'm sorry, Miss Nemo. My goal is to become a Dragon Master, so when I encounter content related to dragons, my blood boils. Talking room. Send out the Millennium Gastly. On the other side, Bai played Gardevoir, a different color. Mega Evolution, Gardevoir. Bai tapped the Mega Evolution stone on his wrist with his fingers. The dazzling 7-colored light bloomed instantly on the Keystone, 03, and the Mega Evolution stone on Gardevoir's body also echoes the Keystone, blooming light far beyond the Keystone. The power contained in the light slowly melted into Gardevoir's body. Stimulate the potential in Gardevoir. The light of evolution emerged and enveloped Gardevoir's body. White light dissipated. Gardevoir appears again. The figure has expanded quite a bit, and White's skirt has become Black's evening dress. The temperament is noble and mysterious. Moonblast. Pink's moon phantom rises into the sky. The whole world was eclipsed and turned into a sea of pink. The energy gathers rapidly. Bai commanded Mega Gardevoir to fight, while introducing to the public, the Roaring Moon is the attribute of Dragon plus Evil, consistent with Hydreigon. The ancient paradoxical Pokemon possesses attack and speed beyond Salamence. Against him it is best to use a Pokemon that is faster than him, or choose a Pokemon that restrains him, or a Pokemon that resists him. Roaring Moon is such a handsome name. An attack speed player stronger than Salamence. No wonder the speed is so exaggerated. It seems that I want a roaring moon. Not to mention the ability, but the appearance is enough to kill Salamence in seconds. I don't agree with Mega Salamence. It's up to me. But Rumbling Moon doesn't need Mega Evolution Stones. It's really delicious. At the same time, the moon fell at a speed that the roaring moon could not dodge at all. Boom. After the Mega Evolution, the fourfold restraint attack instantly made Rumbling Moon lose his fighting ability. The body slumped down. Damn it. Mega Gardevoir Invincible. My wife is so beautiful. Nonsense. It's my wife, a different color Mega Gardevoir. Black's skirt is full of mystery and nobility. It's too sexy. Heterochromatic Mega Gardevoir is here for you. I have taken away the handsome roaring moon. Never mind. I want them all. Is there any Pokemon eggs in Paradox Pokemon? Can we buy them? Hey, this question. Chishu was stunned. I haven't heard that Paradox Pokemon has eggs. Ancient species can hatch eggs, but future species cannot. While throwing Pokemon to conquer Rumbling Moon, Bai introduced it to everyone. The reason is that the ancient Pokemon have a gender, but the future Pokemon don't. Of course, the ancient species in the game also have no gender, so they cannot hatch eggs, but this is reality after all. However, considering the wildness of Paradox Pokemon, it is not recommended to raise common trainer, but if you really want to raise them, you can consider the official website of the Owner Padia Alliance, or the official website of the Carlos Alliance. As soon as this remark came out, the barrage in the live broadcast room boiled almost instantly. Damn, really? What the anchor means, is it really possible to release ancient Pokemon eggs in the future? Ancient species are also fine. How handsome is the roaring moon? Focus on Padia. I understand. Follow Carlos Alliance official website. What the hell? Chapter 196 The Millennium Gastly Summons. Zygarde. +1. Is my Padia Alliance going to cooperate with the Carlos Alliance? At Yeci was hang. This sentence not only made the audience feel at a loss, even Yeci was extremely at a loss. When did she decide to release the Pokemon eggs of paradoxical Pokemon? Even more outrageous is that, even if this happens in the future, it is impossible to cooperate with other alliances. This will definitely destroy the particularity of the Parthia region. She's not that stupid. Give the benefits to Carlos. Even if you think about it, you can't think of it. Bai owns the underground world. Even without visiting Zone 0, you can get Paradox Pokemon by visiting the underground secrets of Area 0. Even, in order to obtain the paradoxical Pokemon eggs of the ancient species, the Padia Alliance needs round-the-clock monitoring, to prevent the eggs being born from being eaten by other Pokemon, but Bai's underground secret realm does not have such concerns at all. Only, all this, the Padia Alliance and the Carlos Alliance who are watching the live broadcast did not know. They only think that their alliance has reached a cooperative relationship with the other party. Only the upper echelons of both sides know. No, nothing at all. Even Carlos Alliance has not been able to contact Kaluni until now. At the same time, the battle on the other side has basically come to an end. Along with Millennium Gastly summoned Carlos Place legendary, apparition of God Z Zygarde, Garchomp completely lost the chance to resist. A huge figure of more than 50 meters appeared and became the focus of the audience almost instantly. Woo. What kind of beast is this? A bit familiar. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. I'm feeling it too. I remembered. It was the phantom of the mythical beast that blocked Groudon in the sea and land battle in Kanto last time. It turns out that Gastly is not Agatha Elites. I didn't expect it to be M's Pokemon. This is the legendary of our Carlos, the god of order who protects the ecological order, Zygarde. In the live broadcast room, countless Carlos audiences were boiling, witnessed world championships, Unova Place legendary Zekrom. Finally, their Carlos beasts will also show their majestic power to the world. Although there are only phantoms. Dragon Pulse. The violent dragon energy condenses into a dragon shape in the air, devouring Garchomp from top to bottom, then dive into the ground. Boom 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 boom. Under the continuous impact of Dragon Pulse, ground melted like frost and snow meeting boiling water. When other Pokemon around dreamed of this natural disaster, they frightened like little rabbits, scattered and fled. Wait until the attack is over. A bottomless pit with a diameter of about 20 meters has appeared at the target site. Incapacitated Garchomp in the middle of the pit. Go. Dragonite flew to the pothole sky, and threw an Ultra Ball. Accurately hit Garchomp to complete the conquest. It's so handsome, Qian Wang Zhao. Watching the whole process, Chishu excitedly praised. I have to say, your Gastly is excellent. How about becoming a Dragon Master? This is not a good job as a Ghost Master. Came out to fulfill the promise. Lao Bar, brothers. Lao Bar secretly makes small burgers, which are affordable and filling. I did it, you Solation. Ouch. Although it is disgusting, but the old man is a real man. Let's just say that B is cheating on eating and drinking. Chapter 197 The live broadcast signal is interrupted. The bottom. Ahaha, I suggest that you don't talk about some bad topics, otherwise you will be banned. Noticing the strange wind direction change in the live broadcast room, Xiao quickly stood up and took the initiative to guide the atmosphere in the live broadcast room. At the same time, the group continued to dive, soon arrived at the lower area. Unlike the upper and middle grasslands, the lower layer is full of dazzling gemstones, full of crystal-light flowers, and the spiral terrain allows people to move to the bottom layer safely. The fourth observatory was established here. When everyone arrived at the lower area, they were quickly affected by the dim environment here. It's so dark, it seems to have entered the night. Look, it looks like spark is down there. Really? Oh, ground is sending out spark. Is there a leakage in the cable below? Xiao rolled his eyes. How could the story be so outrageous? Rumble. It sounded like the sound of a war hammer hitting the ground. A loud bang exploded from the bottom of the valley. Looks like there's a Pokemon fighting down there. Such a large scale. Shouldn't it be a mythical beast Pokemon? Is it such a coincidence? Just came to experience a big war? Bai showed a pensive expression and touched his chin. Yeci watched the live broadcast. His pupils shrank slightly, and he stood up. Can't go wrong with adft. The sound of that scale and the spark, so Leerton and Millerton couldn't go any further. Just when Yeci was about to send out an eye-catching rumor, when reminding everyone not to enter the lower area, suddenly, the studio was plunged into darkness. Damn, the signal was interrupted. No, if things go on like this, if something happens to them, they will be in trouble. Aware of this, Yeci immediately left the room. She's going to visit Area Zero herself. Before anything happens to Xiao and others, stop them from exploring the bottom layer. Signal break. The audience in the live broadcast room was also in a mess. Hey, what's the matter? Why isn't the live broadcast room near? Brothers, something is wrong. Miss Xiao's live broadcast room is also closed. Is there no signal? Isn't this a science-popularized loneliness? Never mind. If Xiao is still tirelessly explaining to us at this time, when he finds out that there is no signal, he will probably die of depression. +1. By the way, what do you think the bottom Pokemon will be? It should be a legendary Pokemon of the electric type. The scale of the electric current is really terrifying. Whoever says no, almost infiltrates the ground. Zone 0. Hey, is there no signal? Almost at the end of the live broadcast, Jiang noticed something abnormal in the live broadcast room. Scratched his head. There's no signal here. Shall we go down? Xiao looked at Bai and Nemo, letting them make up their minds. Bai is naturally indifferent. He was just an escort, therefore, he decisively turned his gaze to Nikao. You decide. Hey, me? If this kind of thing is left to me to decide. Nemo scratched her head, looking very distressed. Hey, there it is. It's better to change the live broadcast to a recorded broadcast, and send it out when the time comes. It should be fine. Is that so? It seems to be okay. Xiao thought for a while, and nodded in agreement. Then record and broadcast. I will continue to explain. No problem. Bai nodded. Shall we explore this layer first, or go directly to the bottom layer? Chapter 198 Subdue Rumbling Moon. The strange tree's eyes are shining. Let's go to the bottom first. Okay, I really want to know what is the bottom Pokemon. The shining electric current must be a Megamachop type Pokemon. Xiao is still full of vitality, a powerful electric Pokemon. The image of Zekrom appearing on the field can't help appearing in Xiaojuer's mind. I feel so looking forward to it. When faced with the possibility of haunting powerful electric type Pokemon, the two electric type gym masters, opinions were surprisingly unanimous. Then let's go to the bottom first. Nemo for final decision. Bai naturally has no objection. But before heading to the bottom, necessary protection must be prepared. Electric attacks often have a very wide coverage area. Just the aftermath of the attack that Millerton can cause is enough to cause huge damage to the flying Pokemon. Dragonite has Dragon type to resist electricity type, not restrained by electric system. But Charizard fire-flying, fire is not resistant to electricity. It is no longer suitable as a means of transportation for everyone. Command Charizard to land on the ground. Bai put away Charizard, thoughts enter the underground world, restore stamina to the incapacitated Rumble Moon with the healing machine help. Come out. Rumbling Moon's huge body appeared in front of everyone, 2 meters tall. The dual wing beat is unfolded, but the length is more than 10 meters. The wide back is especially good at carrying people, although Dragon Dark type makes Rumbling Moon and its lack of capital against Fairy. But it will not be restrained by the electric system. Is this changing from Charizard to Rumbling Moon? Is it because Charizard's flying type is restrained by electric type? After the initial bewilderment, Nemo's eyes lit up. You are really careful. Everyone gave thumbs up. Bai's carefulness has won unanimous praise from all the girls. Roar reappeared in the outside world. The roaring moon still showed its full wildness, eyes wide open, looking around. The moment he confirmed that the heterochromatic Gardevoir wasn't around, he rushed towards Bai without hesitation. Dragonite. Bai's voice fell. Long-awaited Dragonite. The two short wings flapped, and his body instantly appeared in front of Bai like a sharp arrow. Facing the ferocious roaring moon, Dragonite stretched out his hands in a naive manner. The attack looked limp. Can Dragonite work? Xiaojuer, Xiao, and Nemo showed doubts. But Serena and M didn't care. Hercules Dragonite, how could he lose? When Dragonite is with Rumbling Moon tackle, the results that appeared in front of them did not surprise M and Serena at all. But it was beyond the expectations of 517's other three daughters. Dragonite's seemingly weak attack, not moving like a mountain. Rumbling Moon's attack looked like a child playing around in front of Dragonite. With a little effort, the Roaring Moon was completely unable to break free. You have been subdued by me, Rumbling Moon. Bai's voice came into the ears of Roaring Moon. Ho 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 ho. Rumbling Moon struggles harder, but still can't escape the Dragonite's restrictions. I can make you stronger. Bai continued to increase the size. Ho 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 ho. However, the Roaring Moon still ignored Bai, or his wildness is too exaggerated. Chapter 199 Subdue Guleton and Millerton. Even with a strong covet for getting stronger, but the almost instinctive primal ambition made Rumbling Moon resist communicating with such weak creatures as humans. This situation, until the Roaring Moon was exhausted, was knocked down dozens of times. Go round and round, period. Bai showed dozens of Pokemon whose strength far exceeds that of Rumbling Moon. This completely convinced Rumbling Moon. Finally, Bai's words were no longer ignored. After treating the wound for Rumbling Moon again, Rumbling Moon lowered his high head as if accepting his fate. Although the Roaring Moon was convinced, but considering that Rumbling Moon is a paradoxical Pokemon after all, wild and hard to find, Bai still made a defensive move, send a different color Gardevoir to stay behind the Roaring Moon. During this period, M was also completely recognized by Garchomp, who had just taken over. Start again. Since the back of Roaring Moon is spacious enough, Bai and his group directly assembled on the back of Rumbling Moon. On the one hand more comfortable, on the other hand, it is also more convenient for Bai to save everyone from Leeton and Millerton. Flying with all my might, ignore the Pokemon on the ground along the way, everyone quickly reached the bottom. Come into view, two figures covered with spark, like the great Majestic in fantasy stories, constantly casting spells remotely. Under the control of the two, lightning bolts struck towards the two figures hidden under Brown's energy stance. Electrical type and fighting type Pokemon. As a champion, Nemo immediately recognized the attribute of Brown's energy position. Yes, it is indeed a legendary Pokemon of electric type and fighting type. Ampharos Millerton and Fighting Dragon Guleton. And there are two of them. Bai introduced for everyone. As you can see, attribute is the Fighting Dragon, so Leeton is better at physical attacks, and Ampharos Millerton is better at special attacks. Hearing this, combined with the picture that appeared in front of them, everyone nodded. Indeed so, the timing of the arrival of the crowd was ingenious. It was almost exactly the critical moment when the battle was about to be decided. The two old Lutons chose their own rival one after another, launching the final impact to decide the outcome. Boom, boom. Two consecutive powerful explosions are produced, and the shockwave spreads. It is more dangerous that everyone will blow down the body of Rumbling Moon except Bai, who has the power to fly. Crucial moment. The heterochromatic Gardevoir made a move and saved everyone. At the center of the explosion, all four Pokemon flew upside down, scattered in four directions. To die together. Bai's eyes lit up. Everyone, this is a good opportunity to conquer. Can such a powerful Pokemon be subdued? Xiaojuer's pupils shrank slightly. Heartbeat. Of course, but if you are not confident enough, I suggest you choose the Ampharos. I understand that Xiaojuer is after Ampharos Millerton. The direction Bai pointed to was also the weaker Nashong Millerton. Money, 012704404 fellow 190,410,020. Nemo hesitated to speak. Forget it, wait until they find out for themselves that Millerton and Olden actually have Pokeballs. The final result is the rule. Bai successfully regained the strongest Guleton and Millerton. It's not that he eats alone. Originally, his plan was to give up his position. It is enough to subdue only one Guleton. However, due to his own strength, Chishu still couldn't decide to subdue him. Bai respects my decision. Chapter 200, Nemo is too ignorant to watch a play. After decided to subdue the weaker Delong. The remaining two can only be subdued by him. During the period, none of the Pokeballs thrown by the three people were bounced off. This result was far beyond Nemo's expectations. What happened? Did Champion Yeci make a mistake? In fact, Guleton and Millerton did have their own Pokeball at the beginning. But as early as they fought, then Kilolin Professor and Future Professor, including the AI, they made. Even the Pokeball is destroyed as well. So, essentially, they are wild Pokemon that have been released into the wild. Nemo watched helplessly as she missed out on Guleton and Millerton. The mentality almost collapsed. But on second thought, it's impossible to be the only one who is sad. When Yeci found out, she would regret it too much, but Nemo was relieved. Think of the conditions Bai put forward when he agreed to come over at the beginning. Nemo shook her head. Kudos to Bai for his luck. Now, the divine beast will definitely not come back. After this, Bai and his group returned the same way. Along the way, I encountered many paradoxical Pokemon and rare powerful Pokemon. Bai tamed a few Pokemon that fit his wishes. All the way back to the middle level, Bai and the others met Yeci, who was coming towards him. "Are you alright?" Everyone was non-committal. "Well, didn't you go to the bottom floor?" "It still feels weird," Yeci asked. As soon as this remark came out, Nemo has an expression of watching the show, and Xiaojuer looked embarrassed, and she didn't know what to say. Suddenly, there is a sense of déjà vu of abducting someone else's daughter and meeting the parents. Went. In the end, Bai, who was well prepared, answered Yeci's question. "Also, I hope Miss Yeci remembers our previous agreement." While talking, Bai took out a moon ball and wrote a competition ball. Pokeball opens. Therefore, the recovered figures of Millerton and Millerton appeared in everyone's sight. Experienced the secret space, Kyurem and Rayquaz's horse. As soon as the two Pokemon appeared, they showed full defensiveness. Be alert for possible attacks around you. Aber. Yeci was dumbfounded. "You actually went to the bottom? You even conquered Guleton and Millerton?" "Obviously." Bai shrugged. Yeci glanced at Guleton and Millerton, who were very quiet. It seems that they have all acknowledged the fact that they were subdued. This made Yeci completely shut himself up. Fortunately, she is still worried about the comfort of Bai and others. Unexpectedly, Bai and others directly cleared the big boss at the end of the level. "Do you know about the interruption of the live broadcast?" Yeci tries to avoid seeing Guleton and Millerton as much as possible to prevent her mentality from collapsing. "We took screen recording later, and you can edit and configure it." "By the way, Bai, what you said in the live broadcast before, about the paradoxical Pokemon egg." Speaking of this, there was a flash of surprise in Yeci's eyes. Could it be that Bai had already considered the matter of Guleton and Millerton early in the morning, willing to barter Guleton for Millerton, obtain the egg distribution rights of Paradox Pokemon? Kalos Alliance is lucky to be assisted by such a dedicated Tanjiao. Only, compared with the increase in top-level combat power, Yeci is more concerned about the future of the region. In any case, it is impossible for her to agree to the right to distribute. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, link in the description. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.